One of the questions raised in the news meeting today is the textbook question. Red shirts, history,
Yellow shirt.
yellow shirts. What do we tell our students about the contemporary history of the political confrontation?
It must be really cruel for our children to have to learn that.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a controversy last week, as we all know it.
All right.
The red shirt cry foul about this textbook, a special textbook.
Yes.
It's not like
It's not the official,
It's not the official textbook.
Education Ministry's textbook.
no. This is supplementary.
Yes. Reading material,
Teaching
right?
material.
Okay. And students, how many students get to see this?
We have all checked all this story, and the people who made this textbook are people working for the so-called Archdiocese in Bangkok. So to speak, there are people working for these Catholic schools in Bangkok, and the textbook in question has been distributed to about 20 schools in Bangkok, mostly for secondary schools.
Yes. And what did the text say that created this trouble?
They say something about what happened last year on Ratchaprasong Road, and also before that, the crash on the Ratchadamnern Avenue also.
Yes.
The problem, I think, is the part that mentioned about the burning of Central World and other buildings, and also they use the word plunder. Plunder. In Thai, it's plonsadom.
Yes.
And they in the text it said that protesters get really angry after the crackdown in the morning, and they start burning buildings and plunder some properties. This is the question point. The contentious point. And the textbook didn't seem to criticize what the government did during the crisis. It's about 15 lines mentioning what happened since the red shirt descended on Bangkok and then moved from Ratchadamnern Avenue to Ratchaprasong.
And what did the author say about that when the red shirts protested?
They said that this is for this year. For the textbook for this year had to mention something that happened last year, and also that last year they already mentioned what happened during the airport seizure by the yellow shirt. So they say they are neutral. They are really neutral about making this textbook. But they said now that it's become contentious, they agree to withdraw the part about the Songkran, the Pattaya uprising by the red shirt the year earlier, and then last year incident. They agreed to take it out.
Would they take out the part about the yellow shirts taking over the airport too?
That was a few years ago.
But there was no protest at the time.
No protest at the time, actually.
So does the Education Ministry have to take responsibility for this kind of text?
No, this is just the organizer. They said this is some extra reading materials and had nothing to do at all with the education ministry or even with the university affair people. They said that they make it not to look like a textbook.
Outside reading material.
Outside reading, but they just make a good cover. So it finally did look like a textbook to me.
If this little book or textbook creates such a big controversy, just imagine the official version of the incident of last year, or the previous year of the yellow shirts taking over the airport.
Right.
In the official history of Thailand, imagine a few years from now, how would anyone writing history, political history of Thailand, would discuss, or what kind of words would they use?
Yeah, exactly. It's too much for adults, for us adults. So it obviously is too much for children to be to be involved in this. I'm fine for the children to learn contemporary history.
If you ask me, they have to, all the versions will have to be included in the textbook.
Yes, I agree.
You can say that the red shirt said this, the government said this, the yellow shirt said this, and
that should have been the way for them to write this textbook.
That's right.
But what happened? What came out is that it's sort of a one-sided.
But then the next generation will find it very difficult to answer the question, what really happened? And that, I think, is the main question.
Yes.